Hello guys, it's me, Pottery Demon here. I'm talking too close to the microphone again. I realized that when I'm talking to this thing, I gotta keep it a little bit away from my mouth. I was listening to myself yesterday and it sounded like I was screaming at you guys. But I feel a little congested, so my voice might sound a little bit more bassy today. So pardon that. But I've been really liking the way these videos are doing good, and you know, I'm posting like 6 of these shorts, right, at a time, and I schedule them throughout the day, and some of them do really well, and it's really interesting to see that some of them are doing great, and I'll get a bunch of new subscribers, and it's just really exciting for me. And then, some of them that I think are really great, they just, they don't even get like seen. So it's just pretty interesting to sort of spitball and try to figure out like what's making people like click on it a little bit more. I'm sure that this stuff changes as I'm getting more subscribers and maybe more people view things that have more reoccurring viewers. But it's just been kind of fun to see and watch what's been going on. I haven't had time to respond to a lot of comments on those videos, so I apologize for that. I'm going to be trying to get to that pretty soon after I finish this application, and that's going pretty well too. So I think today is going to be a little bit more calm, so I'm going to take you guys over there right now, and we'll start getting right into it, okay? Alright, see you guys in a second. Turn that off. Minimize this. And then what we'll do is turn minicam on. Yo, what's up, guys? Alright. Set microphone on minicam here. Alright. Oh, I gotta take my headband out here, or else it's gonna be pulling on my hair quite a bit. There we go, guys. Alrighty. And we have the clay from yesterday all ready for us. We just gotta wedge it up. A little quick wedge on this, and we'll get right into it. So, like I said, I always take every bag of 25 pounds of clay. I cut it into 6 almost equal parts, but we sort of want some of that variation, because that variation is going to be what inspires the forms, right? And so all those little micro decisions, right? Like when you weigh something out, the same exact weight every time, right? You're taking away a little bit of a surprise, that some level of potential, right? Even me cutting this into 6 almost equal parts is taking away a certain amount of potential of the pot, right? And so it's all about realizing the potential of every little action that you take and trying to extrapolate on some of those moments, right? And so here we go. These 3 nice and ready. Set this around the back. Push this. Hello, guys. Here we are. Also, one thing I want to do first too, I know it's going to be kind of annoying, but so this camera, I like it, but I don't like when it gets in the frame for some of my short format videos. So I'm going to set it off to the side there, and as we get more cameras and more things to set on the screen, we just want to make sure we keep that middle third open for a short format video. So that's kind of a fun thing to be learning now. Dang, why is this not wrapping around my head? So annoying. There we go. Okay, this is pissing me off now. Alrighty. There we go, guys. That's better. But there's potential in everything, like I was saying before, And so I really think my version of ceramics is just playing with that and existing just in that space, Some people get so far past it that they don't even realize that when they're doing these things that they're taking away certain parts of the pots, you know? Why am I missing some tools? Oh, nope, right there. So funny. I don't even remember picking that up. Here we go. This clay, it's a little bit smaller amount than what we normally do. So what I see here, at least, I think I cut the other ones yesterday a little bit larger. So we're just gonna be nice and calm, cool, and collected with these ones, you know? Alright. Just make sure you're breathing, right? My classes today went pretty well. I had such a nice guy, he's been working on these pictures, and I think he really struggles. I'll tell you, what happens, and I think this happens with a lot of people, is they're splaying out, they get nervous, and they splay out their tension on a pot, right? And so, like, for example, like right now, if I was to do a pull, right, I'm trying to do these two fingers and these two fingers, right here, one on the outside, one on the inside, just like that, right? But you'll see a lot of beginners, they start putting pressure on this finger here, and so if you look on the inside in the top corner there, they're setting pressure here, but there's nothing holding it there, or they're using their pinky really pressure and there's no pressure holding it there, right? And so all of a sudden, after they're doing their pull, they just kick everything right off center, right? And so I'm just trying to help them realize these moments that they're making when I see them. And so what it's really I have to do is I have to become a little bit of like a pottery shark, right? Like I just have to, I don't know if I have to just be on the hunt for, man, I got a lot of this grog in here all of a sudden. What's going on here? I think, it was from my sponge. I'm gonna be like a pottery shark. And you gotta see when things are moving, how they're moving, right? Like that was terrible pull. That was just terrible. So let's see if we can get a good one on the bottom here now. Alright. This is bad. So we're just doing little mini pulls here, trying to push this out. Take some more time on this bottom part here. And that way, we can sort of fix some of those moments. Okay. If it's gonna be short, we're gonna make it wide. Okay. It's gonna be short. Then we're gonna make it wide. And something like this, we can't do anything too busy on this bottom part, right? Like, we got to be very careful, right? Because this thing is so short. We screwed up the poles, so now we have to sort of deal with the consequences of that, right? And part of that is it's not going to allow the pot for certain types of forms on this bottom skirt here, but it's okay. Right, and so that's what I mean, like when clay, it's all about, you know, it's kind of funny, I was just talking about being a ceramic shark, and then I it's not like I messed up, but the clay didn't really do what I was trying to make it do, right? And right when I was talking about being the ceramic shark. But, you know, that's the other thing about pottery here is, you know, it's all about responding, you know? I guess that's okay. Trying to match it to the things there. It's a little bit weird, but I think it's just enough to be okay. Take some of that up. There we go. This one does a really good job of showing you this, the interior here. And I got some painful cuts on my hand, not from this pot, but just from working. Okay, so there's pot number 1. So even with a failure, right, and that's all I did to fix that, was I took that belly that was kind of getting all torqued and weird irregular shapes, and I'm just pushing that out in a constant motion, right? And in doing that constant motion, you can sort of jut out and get it wider. It's going to add some stability. Not like getting it wider because getting it thinner adds stability. Getting it wider because if you go more narrow in those spots, that collapse is only going to keep getting exaggerated. Where if we just kind of work it out and go wider and be steady with it, that's usually how I fix any sort of problems like that, you know? Go. Alright, we're gonna have some more luck with pot number 2. It's not like pot number 1's bad, it's just it's not the best, right? Every single time I'm like interacting with a chunk of clay, I want this to be the best. In my mind, I'm wanting it to be the best thing I've ever thrown, right? So I want it to feel like magic too, right? So sometimes when you're just battling the clay half the time on the wheel and get a good object, it's not going to feel like a good object to me, right? I want the clay and me to be like totally synced up the whole way through. And I feel like usually that's what makes a good pot for me, is there's some sense of drama to the pot, right? It almost makes it feel like it's alive, right? When there's suspense, there's anger, there's all these things, and then all of a sudden your movements are just keyed into that. It's just really exciting. So here I'm opening up the bottom, cutting that right along the bottom there. So I'm no sponging it and using knuckle. I feel like the sponge is not giving me enough direct pressure. So I'm swapping a knuckle there for that pole. Changes things a little bit, but not terribly, you know. I might need the sponge for the inside though. Just make sure I get enough. Yep. And maybe we can use a sponge on this bottom to just get a nice definitive bottom you can swap. Dang. It's the second time. That's what I get for this clay, yo. And I can't blame it fully on the clay, but this clay, there's no grog in it. I can't be as aggressive as I normally am. Alright, that's okay now. Alright, let's start from the bottom here. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. This one essentially is a better version of the first one. Alrighty. It's okay. Very subtle on this one with that bottom. How the bottom looks. That one's actually kind of cool. Better than the first one, that's for sure. Alright, will we get the height of our normal ones today? Had 2 troublesome pots so far. Let's see if we can get a handle on it. Pushing this down, pushing this down, pushing this down. Hand on the outside here. Curling that up underneath. Taking that clay up. And then curling our hand underneath. I'm totally locked in right now. This is the part where we've been messing up. Not this time. I'm trying to adjust my pressure to the form that's there rather than forcing it, right? And so that's how this pot is so freaking straight right now. Or just steady. There's not a lot of undulations that are kicking me off right now. Other than my hand hitting it right now, which is kind of getting annoying. Why is there so much water in the bottom of this pot? Jesus. Okay. And look at all this undulation, and still look, we have that glass top, all because we're not stretching it. Dang, every single pot today had that undulation happen. It's really unfortunate. But it's okay. And so all I'm doing here is I'm just poking upwards because I'm trying to set a anchor point for my fingers on the interior to sit in as I'm going to open this up here. Here we go, guys. Alright, so we're swimming on to the... Yeah, we're swimming. Alright, let's see. How do we look? I feel like I have to be facing this way. My feet are on there. That's kind of cool like that. And let's see. Head. Well, I kind of want to be like leaning back. Oof. Wow. Look at that. So it looks like I'm looking up at that middle one, I hope. But thank you guys so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. Peace.